You're now tuning in 91.3 FM.
91.3 FM.
WCUW.
WCUW.
This is Voice of the Voiceless. Rip. You already know. It's your boy Saint Mike J, Michael J. Thriller, Negro Spiritual, Mike Togala. Rip.
And it's your man, Keith Reporting King, Mr. Moscato, a.k.a. the greatest man walking the face of this earth.
Rip.
And I'm Trooper Joe, and I'm here to help keep it real.
This is Nate Peter Ghost, Rock King X, Peter Kente, One Foot Off, and this is the 91.3 WCW.
Voice of the Voices, when we talk about
Sports,
politics,
religion.
sex, rip, entertainment, you name it, we talk about it.
We're going to talk about it.
We're going to talk about it. Now talking about
Sweep the streets I used to You don't want the lights on?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, sorry. Switch it on the side of it. Just keep, it's like a wheel, you just keep it, yeah, have it kind of facing Todd a little bit. Yep, good. Okay, the spotlight. I used to rule the world. See, there's something. We just keep singing songs even if we don't know the words.
Hello.
Okay, true. True knows the words to the song. He knows more than I do at least.
This morning I got to sleep alone.
Well, it is Tuesday, 12 p.m., and that means it is WCUW 91.3 FM, Voice of the Voiceless. It is your boy Truth It.
And I'm Trooper Joe. And I'm here to keep it real with you and have an outstanding guest, and we'll let Todd introduce himself.
And it's T. Williams, candidate for city councilor.
Yeah.
Candidate for city councilor.
Yeah.
Man.
We'll be talking to him today about his aspirations to take this city forward into the future,
That's
where
right.
it needs to be, folks.
Yep.
It needs to be in the future. Get away from this path. But before we start, I just have one thing I want to do, I don't even know if it's legal to do on this show, but I'm going to do it anyways, because sometimes I get in trouble and I get yelled at, get it out the way. But I want to but I just want to, kind of say continue, just one little thing from from a show that me and Will just finished before we came here.
Okay.
Yeah, we do a show, early morning, 2:50 a.m. show. And I want to, the governor knows, I told the governor I want him to call in about those racist comments that was made to the Red Sox, on the Red Sox game last night to that player. I forget his name.
Adam Jones.
Huh?
Adam Jones.
I was
Yes.
covering that last night.
Yeah, and I want the governor to call in. The mayor has already called in his apology for the actions of some of the people in the stands and how that really affects the fans, the team, the whole community, and the whole outlook of the city of Boston. But it goes deeper. It affects the whole community of the state of Massachusetts. It makes you look just like the state of Massachusetts, like I said, a bunch of ignorant people who really got nothing else to do with their time. And not only do I wish for the governor to call in and apologize for the actions of that, because he's the leader of this state, I also want those people who want to take it and hide behind in the shadows and be cowards to say anything they want to man up and at least call in and give an apology to whoever they want to apologize to. But at least make that happen.
All right.
We might even talk about that. We don't know.
Yeah, and if you want to call in, that number is 508-753-2284. Again, that is 508-753-2284. Call in mayor, call in people who...
And the governor.
The governor who needs to
Let
apologize.
me get on you, governor. I'll be down on you. He ain't that big.
Yes, no, he's not. He should be... should know better than behaving the way he's behaving. But but true. You know what? You said something that was really interesting to me this morning. You said that it's not really racism; it's ignorance.
Exactly.
And at first I was like, "What is he talking? No, that's racism." But there are so many players. Big Papi, he is loved by those those same fans. Treat Big Papi like he is literally king of Boston. He can walk around Boston and do whatever he wants, and not one person would say or care anything. They did it more so because Adam Jones is playing for the Orioles, who the Sox have had issues with this season.
Exactly, that's what it is. It's just pure ignorance. It's not racism. These are just ignorant people.
Right.
This is the look that they're giving to the people of Massachusetts in all walks of life. It just shows that, look how ignorant I could be. I could say very, very negative, hurtful things to people from another city playing professional game. Those people are entertaining you.
Right.
It's like, yeah, baseball is known for having kill the empire, shame on you, bad play, or whatever other kind of craziness. But leave the ignorance at the door.
It's not the spirit of Massachusetts that we should. It's not the spirit of Massachusetts that we want to show either. It's you know, if you look out at those stands and you look at the majority of the people that sit in those bleacher stands,
Yeah.
in center field and stuff like that, the majority of them are white fans too. So it may be race, it may be ignorance. Either way, it's not the spirit of Massachusetts that we want to show.
Right.
I agree.
It's not only Boston. I mean, the Red
No.
Sox. The Red Sox represent New England.
Yeah.
Right. They are the New England team, and they represent the New England spirit. And when people come in from another city to play at our fields, we don't want them to be called certain names and stuff
Right.
like that. And it wasn't just one time. It
No.
was multiple times throughout the game.
Right. Right.
That he was called that.
Oh
Right.
yeah, it was a bad look all the way around. Even the throwing the peanuts, they took that from the soccer things like that, throwing the peanuts. They just couldn't continue. It was pure ignorance. That's all that was. From my perspective, pure, simple, unadulterated
Yeah.
ignorance.
And I
That's all
agree,
it
True,
was.
because I was telling you earlier today that I was on Facebook, I was on Xbox Live playing Call of Duty. And there was 2 Spanish people on the other team, and this black guy on my team, and only us 4 are the ones that had microphones. I was just being quiet listening. So as we lost, the black guy started, you guys stink, you guys were hiding, you're camping, all kinds of stuff. And then the Spanish guys, they started laughing like, go cry to your mama, go cry to your mama. They kept saying that to him, right? And immediately, as soon as they said that, and they were laughing, and he was getting more and more, I could tell he was getting more and more angry. He immediately started calling them all kinds of racist things, like, oh, it's okay, you're going to get deported anyway. You just wait, Trump's going to deport you. And this was a black dude, and I was like, I can't believe he's talking like this just because he lost the game. But it's not like, I don't think he was racist. I think what he said was racist, but I think he was just mad, and he had to say something ignorant.
Yeah.
I think we use the word racist too loosely.
I agree. It's an easy word to throw around.
Yeah.
People assume they understand the meaning of it, but it's like, I don't even think a whole lot of people really get the gist of what a racist kind of meaning means. To give up your freedom for something is racist, and then they turn around and give up their freedom.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
You're contradicting yourself with this here. But that was pure ignorance.
Right.
No matter how you cut it. That was just nothing but a bunch of ignorant people out there being ignorant, doing what they do. You know? And if they were real men about it, or women, or whatever they are, and they want to man up, and they can call in. They can call into the show right here. They can call into the Red Sox box office. They can call into the mayor of Boston, to the governor's office. Call in someplace and put your apology there.
Take it to social media. Use the hashtag
Yeah.
Red Sox Nation or Sox Nation.
Yeah, we're sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what should happen.
And
So-
the governor too, you need to get on the phone and take responsibility for the actions of your constituents and stuff, to let the rest of the world know, no, this really isn't what Massachusetts and New England is all about.
But, so that makes me want to kind
Maybe
of
they
give...
weren't from here though. Maybe they were from Maine.
Who knows? They could have been.
Maybe they were from Maine watching
It
the
could have
game
been.
here in Massachusetts. And, I mean, we all know how people from Maine can be.
But at least, and this is why even more so, even taking that into account, that's why I give the mayor and the Red Sox props. Because they didn't do it amid pressure. They just came, it was this morning they came out with it. They jumped ahead of the potential pressure. This might have been just like a quiet incident. People might have dismissed it of Adam Jones just crying. Since he's not liked here, the media may not have covered it. But they came out anyways and said, we apologize, this is not who we are. I commend the mayor and the Boston Red Sox for doing that. Go
Yes.
Sox.
I commend him too, and he came out 5 minutes after I yelled at him.
Yep. He really did. Like, as soon as Troop started talking about it, 5 minutes later, I got a thing on my phone. Yeah, they came out 9:40 something in the morning. He came out. So, Chief, what do you think about
Mayor Walsh is a magnificent person.
Oh,
Yes.
Even when he was a state rep, when he was in the state house,
Mhm.
he's a people person. He's always been about representing his community and representing the people of Boston. And not just Boston, but he sees beyond the boundaries of Boston.
Yep.
Like we all should be doing.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Seeing beyond the boundaries of our cities.
Yep.
And seeing Massachusetts as our community. As we are one community, Massachusetts is our community. Not just Worcester, not just Boston, not just Springfield, Holyoke, but, and that's how Marty Walsh is as
So,
mayor.
and that's what one of the platforms you're running off. Am I wrong?
Correct. I don't think that we should continue looking at Worcester as just a city.
Isolated.
We are too isolated. We look at Providence and we look at other cities, and that's our problem.
Mhm.
You know, we need to focus on Worcester, yes, but we need to also focus on being a global city.
Okay.
Until we do that, Worcester will stay stuck in the mud.
What do you think, Troop?
I think Todd's got a platform, if that's his platform to run on, that he's right on point. Worcester's a big city. We got an airport, we got highways and stuff. The only thing we're really lacking to make us a Boston and a Providence and things like that is a seaport. But, you know, working around that. And they're redeveloping Worcester to such an effect that the whole world itself is changing, and if Worcester doesn't want to have politicians that are going to change with it and bring the city forward, then it's like there's no need for the politicians.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, we'll just sit back here and watch
I guess the
reruns of
problem is
Happy
we have
Days.
politicians, we have too many politicians that are on our city council,
Yeah,
and we don't have enough citizens.
yes,
I'm sorry.
exactly.
So-
Well,
We don't have too many politicians, we don't have enough citizens that are actually on our city council.
Right.
When you talk about the airport, we missed a major thing. If we wanted to really be a global city, when you hear Joe Petty, you hear Candy Carlson, all these other candidates, and other city councilors talk about what they want to make Worcester, we missed a big thing. I think it was a few months ago. I forget what airline it was, but they're an international airline. And they went to all these other small airports around New England, New Jersey and New York and Pennsylvania and in Florida, and now they're going to be flying international flights in and out.
in that, yeah.
We could have had those flights here in Worcester. The mayor could have stepped up, the city council could have stepped up, the city manager could have stepped up. They could have went to the delegation, the state delegation, everybody could have brought this airline into the table and said, hey, how can we bring you to Worcester so that we can become a global city and partner with you? And they didn't do that.
Yeah, because they're too busy infighting within their own chamber. It's like, come on, man. I don't really want sandbox type of politics, you know. That's for little kids. Those are for kids they're toddlers and stuff. Put them in the sandbox and watch them cry when they throw sand all over each other. Don't need that from big people. Big people, and I didn't know they missed an opportunity like this, but those opportunities like that, that's what makes growth and development. You know, and to miss that, shame on you.
You're building these hotels. You have a convention center which you're trying to promote. You want to be a conventioneer city. You want to be a business city that brings in business travelers and stuff like that. But then you continuously miss these type of things. You're not actually looking out for the growth of Worcester. You're looking out for local politics. When you have to look out for other stuff.
Oh,
And
yeah.
what's good, if you want to create revenue in our city, you have to bring things here to our city. You have to bring people here. You have to bring businesses here. And businesses come with jobs.
And they need airport. I was just out in Utah a little over a week and a half ago like that. I was down there looking for property to set up a leadership school down there in Utah. And one of the major things I have for that is airport.
Yeah.
Down there in Utah. I don't need it in Vermont. Vermont I don't need it because, you know, they got the scenic route to travel
Yeah.
and stuff like that,
Yeah.
so I can use that. But I had to look at this place, St. George's, way down in the corner of Utah and stuff, because it had a nice little airport. It's a big airport, but it
Airports
had
matter.
access to the airport. And that's the way I'm going to bring the people in.
Mhm.
You know, so, and I'm not a politician, but even I'm not even a good businessman, but it's like common sense.
Yeah.
Right.
You know?
A lot of being a good businessman is, instead of looking too far and thinking outside of the box, a lot of it is just common sense. And when you stop trying to look outside and think outside of the box for a lot of things too much, then that's when problems occur. things such as wanting to come and have everybody come to City Hall and say we are a sanctuary city, we're not a sanctuary city. We're declaring it that really didn't change anything except for making a statement, and now it got Joe Petty himself in a lot of trouble. But that's a whole nother
When we
story.
talk about that, I mean, if I can just brush on that real quick, because Michael Gaffney's resolution was taken way out of order. He wasn't saying that we should bar refugees and we should bar asylees from living in our city. He was just saying that illegal immigrants, people with criminal records that are wanted by ICE, that we should cooperate with ICE and turn these people over if they're arrested.
Right.
Not they're walking down Main Street. They're
Yeah.
not going to get stopped and picked up and arrested. That's not what Mike Gaffney's resolution was.
Right.
So Joe Petty created, he took a small little ant hill and created this mountain out of something that wasn't even there.
Right. But and that, while that is technically true, I think a lot of the concerns was as our president, like he wants to do things like keep us out of like he literally tried to keep people from coming into the country if they came from certain Muslim countries. Stopping them from coming into whether they've committed crimes or whether anything. First time in the country, stopping them from coming in. So I could see the reason why people would be kind of antsy about declaring a sanctuary city or not. But yeah, either way it was all right.
According to the mayor, we're not a sanctuary city. According to the city manager, we're not a sanctuary city.
Yep.
But according to the U.S. definition of what a sanctuary, or what the U.S. Justice Department's definition of a sanctuary city is, we are a sanctuary city.
Okay.
So, I mean, if your law enforcement agencies don't cooperate with ICE and stuff like that, you are considered a sanctuary city.
Okay.
So what the mayor says we aren't, and the city manager is saying we aren't, we actually are.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind being a sanctuary city, but I don't think that the city's set up to be able to receive any kind of refugees and stuff. We can't even. Right now we're trying to get rid of the poor people that we already have in this city.
Right.
We
That
receive
seems to be
refugees
the
every day,
problem.
though. We receive refugees, asylums,
Oh, yeah.
every day in
Every
Worcester.
day.
They're all over Worcester.
Yeah.
So they're living here, this supposed fear that they have and stuff like that. I worked with refugees at the Ethiopian Dream Center.
Shout outs to Masterman.
Mr. Bashir,
Yep.
the work that they do over there at the EDCI. But, we were in the paper a few years ago when there was a young Ethiopian kid. He was seeking asylum, and he ended up getting deported back to Ethiopia because he was gay and stuff like that. But the Boston Globe did a huge article on it. But that's the work. So these people are actually in our city already. And there is this fear that Joe Petty talks about that they have because of that resolution and because of Trump and stuff like that. And that's a false fear. Because, I mean, I'm out there in the front line, I talk to these people. Joe Petty's not actually out there in the front line talking to these people. I don't see Joe Petty out there at all. I've never seen him at a Crime Watch meeting. I don't, so, where is he at that he's actually talking to these people? And where's he getting his information from?
He gets that information from
I think he gets it from...
Voice to the Voice.
Well, if he's listening to Voice to the Voiceless today, I'm telling him right now that he's wrong about what he said.
Yeah.
And he actually needs to go out and actually sit with real immigrants and refugees and asylees, because I don't see him at these meetings when it comes down to Accenture, right down by Jim McGovern's office on Shrewsbury Street. They do a great job when it comes to representing. They bring asylees into our city all the time.
I'm like I said, I'm not against the refugee sanctuary city, but I think we need to take care of the people that's here first. There's a lot
Yes,
of
charity
people
starts
here.
at home.
And
Yeah.
that's what and I don't want to take a lot of flack for this, and that's what Donald Trump is saying.
But
Is
yeah,
that we need to take care of people here before we can worry about taking more people into here.
yeah. Well,
And I know I'm
I'm
going to take a lot of
not.
crap
That's
for
what
that,
I
but-
think. I think, there's some people here in this city that really, they're like walking around with blinders on. They don't see the development around them. It's like, this isn't going to benefit you.
Yeah.
You're not taking any kind of action to prepare yourself for when this development is completed, that you're sustainable to the community so that you can live. So eventually, you'll be living, but then you'll have to go.
I think once the city square project is done, we need to go back to the city manager, and ask the city manager, how many of these people that are gonna get jobs are actually people that live in Worcester, that are people from our community that are getting these jobs, and not people from like these outside communities.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because before we can worry about bringing other people in, we have to hire our own people. We have to give our own people jobs. Unemployment is an issue in Worcester. So we need to figure out with these hotels, with conventions that are coming in, more businesses that are gonna be coming in, how many people are we sitting down at the table with these businesses and saying, hey, how many people do you actually gotta hire from Worcester, not
And-
outside communities?
And not just hire, but that's gonna get jobs that's sustainable, because they'll say, oh yeah, we got all these jobs, we got 1,000 jobs up here, but the pay that you're giving them, you got 1,000 jobs for somebody who might just have finished being a mother, and the kids are off in school all the time, so they want mother hour jobs and stuff like that. It ain't paying a lot, it's just fulfilling a social need for them to be active, or a human need to be active, I should say. So there'll be a lot of those jobs like that, but somebody can't live off of that, because they got a husband or
You gotta work 2
somebody
or 3
else.
jobs just to have, just to pay rent.
Yeah,
Then you gotta pay, and what if you have food after that? What if you have kids that are on medication?
Oh, yeah.
Or you have doctor's bills, stuff like that. So nowadays, a parent, even if it's not even a single parent, just 2 parents living together, it's a family. Both parents sometimes gotta work 2 jobs, one
Yeah.
full-time job and one part-time job, just to make ends meet.
just to make ends meet, exactly. You think about that, Will?
Well, I think that it sounds like you're kind of running against Joe Petty, almost. It sounds like that's what it sounds like to me. But I know that's not who you're running against. So who is it, and what district are you running for?
I'm actually running for District 1, which is Candy Carlson. Previously, it was held by Phil Palmieri, one of, I think, the best city councilors of our time, who taught a lot of us so much in that district and in Shrewsbury Street and stuff like that area. Phil Palmieri was the guy to look up to back then. I don't think Candy Carlson has truly represented our district to the best that she can on that city council.
Okay.
I think that when it comes to the city council, when it comes to Candy Carlson, she talks a lot about Green Hill Park, she talks a lot about Shrewsbury Street, Mount Carmel Church. Nothing against Mount Carmel Church. I think it's a great place. I lived on Shrewsbury Street. My grandmother lived on Shrewsbury Street for 21 years. The Italian community I have a lot of respect for, but there's other parts of District 1 beyond Shrewsbury Street.
Right.
There's other parts of District 2 beyond Green Hill Park and the DCU Center.
Right.
Those aren't the 3 things that make up District 2.
Right.
What makes up District 2 is our neighborhoods. I live on Merrifield Street.
Yep.
Ask how many people on Merrifield Street know who their city councilor is, or when the last time they had a neighborhood association meeting. I was shocked to find out that the neighborhood association meeting was at 7 o'clock in the morning, when most people can't even make it.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Why did they do that? A lot of minorities have to go to work early in the morning, right? And that's why they do it. I went to a Grafton Hill Neighborhood Association, and I was kind of mad. And that's not even in my district. That's in George Russell's district, that's District 3. And I was kind of mad because I was like, they're having this meeting at nighttime, which is great, but it's called the Grafton Hill Neighborhood Association.
Yeah.
But it doesn't represent truly Grafton Hill, because Grafton Hill, Barclay Street, Cutler Street, Menden Street, Vale Street, those areas where a lot of minorities live, they're not considered part of the Grafton Hill Neighborhood Association.
Oh, okay.
So we need to restructure
That's
these neighborhood associations, these neighborhood crime watches, a lot of these groups, and we need to start looking more into our neighborhoods. Downtown development is great, but if you don't have development of people in your neighborhoods, then downtown will mean nothing ever.
Well, yeah, they want downtown for people outside. But I know exactly what you're talking about, those planning commissions. When I was playing politics many years ago, I was in Mission Hill in Jamaica Plain area. Yeah, I was on Mission Hill Planning Commission. I was on the Harvard Community Health Board Planning Commission, and this, and I was
Those are
Democratic.
Charles Yancey's days. And stuff.
Yeah, all those things, yeah. And I was on the Democratic War Committee
Yeah.
and all those things like that there. But they were selective.
Mhm.
And it was all done during the hours of daylight, so, and most of those hours of daylight, people were working,
Exactly.
you know, so, I made it my point when I was out there to really talk to a lot of people and get into the, walk the streets in the evening and stuff. I used to run with Kevin Fitzgerald, he was the rep at that time, me and Kevin was really tight. We really associated with a whole lot of people, and then later on with Joe Kennedy,
Yeah.
we associate with a lot of people after hours.
Mhm.
Just talking to them and
Let's
stuff
get
like
things
that.
done after hours.
After
When
hours,
you go into
yeah.
people, like we were talking before the show, you go to people's homes.
Yeah,
But you're not just going to homes, you're going to barbershops.
barbershops.
You're not going in the morning, you're going after hours.
Yeah,
Because you're actually meeting these people. And as a city councilor, Candy Carlson's not doing it.
no.
She's not going into these barbershops in our district and meeting with the barbers. Most people, you go into a barbershop and you sit down, that's our gathering point in our community anyway.
Mhm.
I don't know about their community, but in our community, that's the gossiping point for the men.
Oh,
Right.
You know,
yeah,
you go into the barbershop, you know everything that's happening in that neighborhood.
yeah, exactly.
You know, and she would learn a lot if she did that, but she's not doing it. And when you go into those barbershops and you say, hey, who's your city councilor? A lot of them still think Phil Palmieri is the city councilor.
Mhm.
Yeah,
They
You
do.
know, and that's shocking.
that is it.
He was great. I'm glad they still think he was a city councilor. But and
Well,
even when you ask them, like, who's the mayor? They think Ed Augustus is the mayor.
I know a
because-
lot of people I find in Augusta.
It's hard to remember people who aren't for your interest, though.
Exactly.
So,
But the thing is how can it's not that they're not for your interest, it's that they're not even in your community.
right.
Until it's election
Right.
time.
So that brings me to my next question. So let's say you run, and you win the seat. You are now a member of the city council.
Mhm.
You are in there with a bunch of lawyers, basically, majority lawyers that are now making policies and everything for the city. Is there anyone in particular, or other counselor in particular, that you would look forward to working with, or is there anyone who's possibly running that you're looking forward to working
So
with?
I was talking to you on the way over here, and this is probably why I kept saying District 1.
Yep.
I was thinking Sean Ross,
Yeah.
Yep.
Sean Rose. He's the executive director from the Justice Resource Institute.
Mhm.
He's running District 1. I'm hoping that he gets on because we can do a lot of work together, especially in public health, because GRI does a lot of stuff with people in public health and HIV.
Yep.
And so I'm hoping that he'll get on so we can work together. But I think Mo Bergman,
Yep.
he's a former prosecutor or assistant district attorney for the Worcester County District Attorney's Office under John Conte.
Mhm.
And he was a great prosecutor. He knows public safety.
Okay.
He knows how we can make our streets safer. Just because the police department says that our crime rate is going down,
Oh, yeah.
listen, our crime rate, we still have crime going on. Don't be fooled by
Right.
three-digit numbers and stuff
Yeah.
like that. Just because we're not in Chicago numbers and New York City numbers doesn't mean that we don't have crime.
Right.
We need people like Mo Bergman to work with him and step up and come up with some good strategic plans on how to make our city streets much safer.
Mhm.
Not downtown, our neighborhoods.
Neighborhoods.
Because if our neighborhoods aren't safe, what do we have?
Right.
People aren't going to move here.
Yeah, you should. So it's almost like you're a Republican to me. Like you don't usually hear Republicans talking about the little man, the small cities, and the.
I think the Republicans were founded on talking about the little man.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
But
That's
the
how they were
Republican
founded.
Party
Yeah.
was founded in the South,
Yep.
mostly by black people,
Yeah.
Yep.
you know, and it was about the little man.
Yep.
And along this way, somehow, somewhere, the Republican Party strayed along into another fraction and then to another fraction, and that's why we have these different divisions within the Republican Party as well, as you've seen recently with the healthcare reform in Congress. You had the Tuesday Republicans who didn't support this, and you had the moderate Republicans like Charlie Baker who didn't support this.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's why the whole healthcare. So you have these different divisions within the Republican Party, but the Republican Party that, like, I'm a member of the Log Cabin Republicans, which is the LGBT Republicans, but also a member of, for instance, the Massachusetts Black and Hispanic Republicans.
Okay.
And I'm the chairperson of that right now.
Okay.
So, you know, in Massachusetts, we elected the first, you know, a lot of people say that Obama was the first elected U.S. senator that was black.
Yeah, but that's not true.
Burke
Burke.
was elected, and he was a Republican
Oh,
from Massachusetts.
Yeah, but the first elected senator took that was in reconstruction area, and I
Mhm.
forget his name, he took the seat of Jeff Davis.
Years ago, yeah.
Yeah.
Years before that.
Yeah, that was.
You know, and that's how we had Coleman come to our city as well too. Because Burke was Coleman worked with Burke a lot.
Yeah, Brooks.
Yeah.
Brooks,
Yeah,
yeah.
Brooke.
Yeah.
So, but going back to your question, you know, Mo Bergman would be a great city council to work with.
Oh, I
You
like
know,
Mo
a lot of people they criticize Mike Gaffney.
Mm-hmm.
I think that if we bring Gaffney down a little bit, you know, Gaffney is a workable person to get a lot of things done in our city. He is a really smart person. If you sit down, you actually have some conversations with Michael Gaffney.
Yeah.
He's an intelligent guy.
I think he's intelligent.
Right.
We don't diss anybody on this show
Exactly.
except if you come on.
Right.
So, but yeah, I think
Gaffney is great. I think Kay Toomey. You know, see, this is the divide that we have in our city council. You see so much finger pointing on two
Yes.
events. You see city councilors just finger pointing and stuff like that. I'm the type of person I can sit down and I believe that you can reach across the aisle.
Yep.
And you can come up with compromises on this side and on this issue, and as long as it benefits your district and your neighborhoods all throughout our city,
Yeah.
then what's the problem? Everybody should be at the table. That's what the city council is there for anyway, right?
exactly, that's their job, is to better the city.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not that, well, I'm thinking of Boston, you know, so like Boston's job for all that big development stuff like that, it really goes to the governor's council. Because they got Massport, they got that seaport to bring in all this stuff and all this commerce and stuff, so they can base their economic development on how much commerce they can bring in from different areas.
Being
Worcester
capital
can't do
city
that.
is good, yeah.
You know, their commerce, one of their biggest economic bringing in is the student wealth, the knowledge. It's something that you can't measure by money.
Student wealth is good, but I think you have to remember too that Worcester pays too much attention to the students and forgets about its own residents.
Yeah,
So
they
coming-
do,
coming the end of
100%.
Coming the end of this month, our population drops by like, I think, 25,000, 30,000 people.
Yeah.
Because
That sounds
those
about
are-
right,
Those
with gentrification.
are the college kids that go home.
Yeah.
What about the people that are actually staying here?
Right.
And then their issues will get washed away for the summer.
They don't care about that. What they
Because
want
the
is they
city
want
council-
those students to leave.
Yep.
They want the poor people to come, so they
Mhm.
want the poor people gone. So when the students come back and they graduate and they got good jobs, they can
Exactly.
come stay here and they can afford all the stuff that's going on around here. That's the plan.
I forget who it was before, you probably know, there was somebody once said, it's not called redevelopment. It's basically, it's not called redevelopment, it's basically pushing the poor people out.
Yeah.
Um,
The gentrification.
Gentrification, no, it's not that, I forget what it's called.
I
I'll
call
share it
it-
on my blog tonight though.
Okay.
And I did a whole story about it a few months ago. How Worcester is pushing or trying to mask its population, basically.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're following in my humble opinion, I think they're following the template that was put out there by Omaha.
Mhm.
Omaha used to be a destitute city and stuff like that, and then Omaha went in, it's a big insurance agent city, and
Yeah.
big profitable things like that. And Omaha too doesn't have seaport.
Mhm.
You know, so I think that they're following the game plan of Omaha. I
We
think
need
the
to
guys in
stop
charge.
following game plans of other cities,
Yeah,
because our major competitors is other countries.
there's other countries.
We need to look at like China.
Yep.
We need to look at even some of the, like we have a lot of people that come to Worcester that are Latin American.
Yep.
Yeah.
We have a lot of people that come to Worcester that are African. So we need to look at how can we partner on a global level with countries in Africa? How can we partner on a global level with countries in Latin America? How can we partner on a global level with, medical firms and organizations in China? So
Yeah,
that they
that's
can
a
help
good
us
idea.
in Worcester, because we are a medical state.
Yeah.
We have 3 of the best hospitals right here in Worcester. We have some of the best doctors in
That's
the world.
right.
right
Shout
here
out
in
to my
Worcester.
honey.
Yes. Who is one of the doctors? Yeah.
So your wife is a doctor?
My honey's one of the premier doctors in
Okay,
cancer,
see, there you go.
cancer surgery in the world.
So, but we have public health is a major issue that I'm running on as well.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't take and look at the future of public health today, then we're gonna feel later on down the road.
Yeah, we gotta be players at the table.
Exactly.
Good. There ain't no scraps coming off those tables.
No.
No, they eat everything, right? These are some hungry people, yeah. And we got a president who's a businessman, and his major skill is negotiation. You know, I mean, even that thing that I saw on there, I thought was a good move by Trump was, yeah, I'll sit down with what's his name?
Kim Jong-un.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now it's in his ball
Are
game.
we allowed to say his name on this radio station?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna say
Okay.
Kim Jong-un.
Because for my thing, it moves the game into his ball game now. You know, this is his
Yeah.
part now.
Right.
Negotiation. This is what he does. He loves negotiating.
Which, to me, honestly, doesn't sound like a bad idea. We're always putting, our communication with North Korea has been sanctions. That's the only way we've communicated with them. Sanctions and them threatening us, and then us doing drills, running training drills in South Korea, and then threatening us even more. I haven't heard, this is the first time I've heard of a president say, hey, leader of North Korea, why don't we sit down and talk? I don't know about saying I'd be honored to talk to him. I don't know if the wording was right,
I think there has
but
to be some sanctions in place before you even sit down and talk with them.
Oh, I think
Something has
that
to be in place.
I think he wants to sit down and talk with them, and this shows that China right there, because China's is right there on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and China's going, and just like you said, with your plan that you mapped out there for global interactions between Worcester and other places, they'll be listening. If we have a plan like that to benefit, boy,
Yeah.
this city be going big place.
That's the thing, we don't think big though.
no.
We
No.
think Worcester is what, the second largest city? But
Yeah.
we think like the smallest
town.
town
Right.
in the United States.
Yes.
Yeah.
We need to stop thinking like a town, and that's why Providence and Rhode Island, and you have Hartford, Connecticut, and you have Boston, Massachusetts, that are ahead of us because we're not thinking like them.
No.
We're
Right.
not thinking beyond them and 3 steps ahead of them.
Yeah.
Because we could be thinking like that. We're central to how many capital cities?
Yeah.
3 capital cities.
Yeah.
We are central to those capital cities. We could bring people from those cities going on to entertainment.
But true,
You know?
there's something you said maybe last week that Worcester. One of the problems that Worcester has is it's not all of the major cities has a body of water
That's it.
connected to it. Worcester unfortunately doesn't have a body of water connected to it, but we do have a potential huge airport now. If we start using that airport to its full potential, then we could then be in the central hub in Massachusetts. Can really benefit the city, but I think
Yeah.
the only way it's going to have to go through the airport
We need
first.
to we have to remember that the airport isn't owned by the city. It's now owned by Massport. But we also have to remember that even though it's owned by Massport, our lieutenant governor is our next door neighbor.
Right.
Exactly.
Yep.
I
She
didn't want
lives
to
right
get
down the
there.
road in Shrewsbury. She needs to do more advocating for that airport and bring more flights into that. I'm not talking cargo.
Mm-hmm.
No.
We have
Right.
enough freight trains that come into our city.
Yeah.
We don't
Right,
need cargo
right,
planes coming into our city.
Right.
We need passenger airlines coming into our city,
Yeah,
not
exactly.
3 and 4 flights out a day. We need an airport that is actually a fully functional airport that's bringing people here and getting people out.
I think we're headed that way with the gentrification, because the gentrification can only go so far until you get the airport correct, right?
I think so too. I think that we're heading that way to bring more of the intellectual, the intelligentsia people, the higher end of the business type of things into the city to make money. It's hurtful for the lower end of the people in the spectrum, but for the city itself, the transitional stage is going to go that way because we got highways. It's not that bad to drive here from Connecticut,
No.
you know.
We have,
And
what,
it's
we have Route 9, we have 90, we have 290.
yeah.
You know, those are highways and byways that come right into our city.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
and the development is always going on, and with the addition of an airport, and with that airport, they can also put in a small kind of hot type of airline type of place, like they have in many airports. You know, like the Cape Cod airplanes to take out.
Charter flights.
Yeah, the charter flight, and you could bring in all kinds of big business conventions and big business type of things like that. City has potential to make a whole lot of money for the city
Yeah.
and look good, but it stinks when it comes to its people that are not the marginal people. It really stinks, and we need people like you to go in there and take care of this business now.
I'm hoping we need people to get out there and vote though too.
Yeah, people got to
We have to get out-
vote.
we have to
Yeah,
get people out there and
yeah,
vote.
You gotta drop the victimization, you gotta drop the somebody help me and stuff, and I know everybody said, I'm always saying pull yourself up by the bootstraps, but in this
You have
case,
to, though.
at least lace up your bootstraps and go out and vote.
Yeah. Look at, touch on Ferguson real quick. You just had
Oh, yeah,
the situation in Ferguson a few years ago, and everybody said we need to get rid of this white mayor, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what did they do? You had the opportunity to elect a black mayor,
Yep.
a female black mayor. You had the opportunity to elect her, go out and vote. And people went out and voted, but they didn't go out and vote for her. They went out and voted to re-elect this white mayor.
Okay.
That's the problem with a lot of our cities is we're going out and voting, but we're not voting for the change that we're talking about we need. We're voting for the same old people that aren't the solution, that are the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so, right. So, but I think another thing Worcester has to do to be able to change its image is to change its personality. Worcester is known for being full of jerks.
Yeah.
Like, we are not a people person. Like, a lot of the major towns, like, some of them, yeah, it's hard, like New York. It's hard to, oh, New Yorkers, they're tough there, but they're still prideful and loving of each other, at least.
Mm-hmm.
Worcester is almost like, I don't like nobody likes me, I don't care if you live here, you don't live here. If you exist, I don't like you. And that's kind of like the problem with Worcester. But speaking of that, okay, you want to finish?
There's a lot of places I go to, and when you tell them you're from Worcester, they're like, oh, that's the armpit state of Massachusetts.
Wow.
I
guess
remember
so.
I was in Detroit one time, and that was the first time I heard that. And I was shocked coming from people in Detroit
Mhm.
calling Worcester the armpit state of Massachusetts.
All right, so we're going to play word association with the city council members. I'm going to tell you the city council member's name, and you tell me what
I hope
you think.
I hope I passed this.
Yes, let's see how it goes. We'll start with the mayor, of course, Joe Petty.
Joe Petty. So I'll just go now.
How I tell you, I'll tell you the name of the city council member, and you kind of describe them from one of the first things that come to mind when you think of them. So, for example, if I say Big Papi, you say home run hitter, great personality, blah blah blah. Okay?
All right.
All right.
So Joe Petty.
Joe
You
Petty.
sure you wanna go there?
Hey, I thought this was Voice of the Voiceless. I thought we asked the tough questions.
Alright.
Joe Petty, I think he's disconnected.
Okay.
I'll use that word with him, disconnected.
Okay. Mo Bergman.
Mo Bergman, potential.
Okay. Michael T. Gaffney.
No prompting.
I didn't prompt. Did I prompt?
Gaffney, amazing man.
Okay. Christian King.
Size.
Could be better.
Okay. Connie Lukes.
A legend.
A legend.
Legend. That's the first time I've ever heard anyone refer to Connie Lukes as a legend, but she's done a lot for the city of Worcester.
She's been around, I mean, she started on the school committee, I believe,
Yep.
Yeah.
when I was just a kid. So she's been around a long time. And well, most people have actually gone on. Like you see Harriet Chandler, who started off in the school committee. She's now in the Senate.
Mhm.
You know, most people that started off in the school committee back in those times, they've gone on to do something else. And Connie, she doesn't have aspirations. She doesn't want to run for anything bigger. She likes where she's at.
Yeah.
She likes being the representative of the people and being the voice of the voiceless.
She doesn't represent anybody,
All right.
you know, that's the problem.
But don't go by what you see or you hear in the council chamber.
Yeah.
Go
No,
by
no.
what you see outside the council chamber.
What,
Connie
what,
Lukes,
what
because
I'm going by,
she brought us the first black superintendent. And you know why she did that? She did that because no other white person on the city council back then wanted anybody, or nobody on the school committee, nobody in this city that's white wanted a black school superintendent. And Dr. Boone got criticized the whole time she was here. But Connie Lukes brought her here. Let's remember that.
I remember Connie Luke's brought her here, but I also see Connie Luke, she stopped for the refugee place with the refugees and stuff, and isn't she a refugee I'm meeting?
Yeah, she's an immigrant. She's an immigrant.
It's like, yeah, the contradictions are just way
I
over
think,
my head.
But she did come to the candidate forum to the park, though.
Yeah.
Where I
Oh,
thought she was going to
She
be.
shows out.
Yes, she does. She shows up.
I hope she shows again too.
Yep.
I don't know. And The politics here is stinks. They need new blood. Go get them,
What's the
Todd.
next
Get
one?
in there.
Wow, okay, first you kind of not nervous about it, now you want, bring them on, okay. Kathleen M. Toomey, Kate Toomey.
I think, and I probably am going to get criticized for this, I love Kate Toomey.
Okay.
I don't care what anybody says about Kate Toomey. I think she's an amazing woman who, if you know her story and you talk with Kate Toomey, you know exactly where she's coming from on issues. She's amazing. She has the strength of a lion sometimes.
I bet you she does have a strength, but only in circles.
Yeah, sometimes in
So
circles.
that's how the city council works, though. You
So
don't
if
have.
No, but you
Hold on.
gotta get out to the people.
I hope-
This
Right,
woman's
you're right,
she's
you're right.
disconnected.
Yeah.
If you talk to, are you friends with her on Facebook?
No.
No.
Add her as a friend on Facebook.
Okay.
If you have a concern, you hit her up at 2 o'clock in the morning, she's gonna get back to you like that.
Okay.
And she will have a response as to your concern the next day.
Well,
Okay.
I hope you act like that too, and I
I
hope
will.
that
Oh, that's the
people,
city council I
people
want.
are hearing that from here on Voice of the Voiceless, and we start using people like yourself and Kate Toomey, that city council, so that we get things done for the people. Other than that, from
Even
my
now,
point of view,
that's
she's
how I am.
disconnected. If you don't know that you have access to her,
Yeah.
then you don't have access to
Yeah.
her.
Connect with her on Facebook, Kate Toomey. And anytime you have a question, remember the night that they were gonna pepper spray or do something like that up at Assumption College, they were gonna pepper spray or use pepper ball guns
Yeah.
on the students at
Yep.
Assumption College. And I mentioned it on Facebook. The only city councilor that hit me back up was Kate Toomey.
No.
No other city councilor. I have how many city councilors that are on my Facebook
Oh.
page? And she is the only one. So that's how much respect I have for her. She's a courageous woman.
Yeah.
When
Glad-
teachers were going to get laid off in Worcester years ago, Kate Toomey stepped up to the plate
Mm-hmm.
Glad that you
to
got
save those
enough
jobs.
confidence and
Oh,
enough gall. Or
I get
Guile.
so many people that say, "Oh, Kate Toomey this, Kate Toomey that," and I always go to bat for Kate Toomey.
Well, that's
All
good.
right.
That's good.
And as far
That's
as
good.
being connected,
That shows that that shows that you gonna listen and you gonna make a decision based upon what you're hearing and what you're seeing. And that's
Exactly.
not about what somebody tells you that you should do. I like that.
and as far as being connected, even I'm not a city councilor,
Mm-hmm.
and people can still connect with me. I give people my phone number and I tell them, I'm at United Care Central Massachusetts, and I tell people all the time, my clients, they call me at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and I wake up, if I'm sometimes not even awake, and I'll help them. They have a concern, a constituent in the district who's not even really a constituent of mine yet.
Mm-hmm.
They're my residents,
Mhm.
they're my neighbors. They can call me at 3 o'clock in the morning, they have an issue, I'm on it.
All right,
Well,
we're gonna hurry up and breeze through this, and then I'm gonna let you have the last minute to talk about your campaign and what you're running on. This one, he's not going to be here after this year.
So Tony O'Connell.
Okay, O'Connell. Okay, good. Thank you for pronouncing his name for me, because I was like O'Connell, O'Connell,
I was
O'Connell.
sad to learn that Tony is not going to be running for re-election.
Okay.
Honestly, I think Tony, he's been silent on a lot of issues that he really wanted to step up on or should have stepped up on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really sad to see that we're losing that young talent of our city council, especially for District 1.
All right.
I want to
So
hear about my Shirai.
we getting there. We're at.
Sarai's last, right?
Nope, she's second to last. We got
Okay.
Candy Merrill Carlson, but we already know what your
So
thoughts about her
Candy
disconnected.
Carlson is disconnected. She
Yep.
is very disconnected from our district. People in the district don't even know her. Go
All
down
right.
to Shrewsbury Street, they know her.
All right, due to time, we're gonna have to keep this moving. George Russell.
I love George Russell. Uncle George.
Okay. That's it. That's all you. Just Uncle George. That's it.
He's an amazing guy. Done a great job on the city council. Great businessman as well with his real estate business and stuff like that. George is a true representative of Worcester. He's a Worcesterite through and through.
All right, and the one we've all been waiting for. Rivera, Sarai Rivera, District 4 City Councilor.
Let me make it clear.
Wait, I get my gun. Talk about my Shirai.
Wait a minute, she's my Sarai.
Let me make it clear right now. I know a lot of people have issues with Sarai Rivera.
Yep.
And publicly, a few years ago, I yelled out at the city council chamber, and I said some things that I probably should have controlled myself on doing.
Yep.
But I was angered at how she approached something
Okay.
and called somebody a liar or something like that, and I called her a liar back right in the
Whoa.
open chamber. And I think the mayor had to actually swing his gavel there. But when it comes down to District 4, and it comes down to a lot of issues in our city that are public health issues,
Yeah.
Sarai does stand up. And Sarai does do her thing.
Okay.
I like Sarai
so-
on a lot of fronts.
I'm not gonna
Me
say that I don't like Sarai Rivera, because I do like Sarai Rivera. I don't have anything against her. And I
Yeah.
think she's one of those people that, you can reach across the aisle and you can actually get some work done with.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
she's shown that on the council too, where she reaches across the aisle too sometimes. And she gets work done with other councilors on that council too.
I do give her that. She does. In terms of working with other counselors, even if she has something personal against them, if it's for the greater good, Sarai Rivera will reach out and will put her personal thoughts about other people to the side and work with them. I have no idea how she still works with Michael Gaffney at all. I have no idea.
Because it's not personal.
There's a thing
Sarai
in
doesn't
D.C.,
hold
if
that.
you go to Washington D.C.,
Yeah.
during the daytime, you
Mhm.
have Republicans, Democrats, you have their divisions within their divisions,
Yep.
and everybody's bickering and pointing their fingers and stuff like that. But 5 o'clock comes, and they're all at the Capitol Hill Club having drinks
Yeah.
together.
Yep. Yeah.
Democrats and Republicans sitting there having whiskeys together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it is in Worcester too. You guys a lot of people just don't see it. When these guys leave the city council meetings
Yeah.
on Tuesday nights sometimes, they're heading to a bar that's local in their districts.
Sarai
They
and
have
Michael
drinks.
Gaffney having drinks together?
I don't know if they're having drinks yet.
Yeah, I
cheers,
don't think so.
Cheers to that. But but one thing about Sarai is she knows public health. She
Yeah.
knows what the future of public health is,
Hmm.
and I wish her luck, and I wish whoever runs in District 4 luck. I'm not going to endorse any candidates in that district.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna endorse me, but I think I got a real admiration and a real respect for Sarai. I think Sarai is quite a very outstanding woman and stuff. And I think, without her in Worcester, I think.
Did she
that
send you
there-
a Valentine's card or something? 'Cause-
Actually, just by looking at the face of the politics out
Yeah.
there, without Sarai, representing the people in her district, there's a huge amount of people that wouldn't have a voice at all.
And I think we
And
understand this.
that's
Even though there's two
powerful on
minorities
this.
on the city council right
Mhm.
now, I think Sarai is the only real minority who represents minorities
Yeah,
on that
Ooh.
council.
exactly.
Shots fired. And the last one, Gary Rosen.
I like Rosen, but it's history.
Gary Rosen is, he's long-winded.
Okay.
I'll put it that. Best of luck to him running for city councilor at large.
Yes.
But, he's, I think that some of his issues,
Mm-hmm.
he's disconnected on. He's not focused on, you had the Crompton Park issue of the basketball courts
Right.
being redone. We have so many minority kids that play on those basketball courts down there. And that issue that Sarai Rivera brought up on those basketball courts being resurfaced and repainted and stuff like that,
Yeah.
it sat in his committee, I think, since 2014.
Wow.
Meanwhile, he took up every issue on the golf course. He took up the dog park issues. He took up every issue that he could, but when it came to minority kids and the basketball courts in Crompton Park that they play on,
Mm-hmm.
Gary Rosen didn't care at all.
Sounds
So
all
to
right.
me, Gary Rosen, he doesn't represent our city.
Exactly.
He represents a certain fraction and a certain race of our city.
Yeah.
All right, so we have 6 minutes, and I have
Go
to.
ahead.
I was told I definitely have to start at 1 o'clock with our next show that's coming on Democracy Now. If you enjoyed Voice of the Voiceless, please stay tuned so you can listen to Democracy Now at 1 o'clock. So we're going to give you the last couple minutes to tell us your campaign, what you want to run, and why they should vote for you.
So, my name is Todd Williams. I'm transgender. And I'm running because it's time for true leadership in our city. It's time for someone who's going to represent our district, but also has an understanding of where our city needs to be tomorrow. I'm running for city council because I believe in public health, and I believe that we've been neglecting a lot of public health issues in our city, such as HIV and AIDS, such as mental health, homelessness. Even though people say that's not a public health issue, it is a public health issue. I think that as far as obesity is concerned, that's a public health issue that we could be a city in front of the curve on, and we haven't been. So I'm running, you're gonna hear a lot of candidates out there talking about public safety. You're gonna hear a lot of candidates out there talking about economic development and stuff like that. That's all fine and dandy, but you can't talk about economic development if you don't have an economic development plan. So you can't talk about public safety if you don't have a public safety plan. They're gonna tell you that they want this, 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 and this, but ask them how they're gonna pay for that.
Jack?
Public health pays for itself, okay? It's not an amenity, it's something that we have to provide to our citizens of our city. Public health issues, the opioid crisis in our city, we wouldn't have had that crisis if we were ahead of the curve, you know? So that's what I'm running on, is public health. I currently am at United Care of Central Massachusetts, and at Worcester Daily News. So I'm in the community. You know, I hear what people have to say all the time, at these barbershops, you know, and that's the type of city councilor that I'm going to be as well. I'm going to be the type of city councilor. I actually reached out to somebody last week. They said something about the alignments that I'm making and stuff like that. And if he's listening, because usually he's here, but I'm going to be the city councilor that opens up a district office.
Okay.
I'm not going to be part-time. I'm not going to end during the summer, because the people's business doesn't end during the summer.
Right.
It goes on. I'm going to be a full-time city councilor with a district office. I'm going to make sure I'm at every community meeting, and half of my salary, I'm not going to take. I'm going to donate that to AIDS Project Worcester.
All right.
Damn.
Well, there it is. Troop, do you
That's
have
right.
any things you
Well,
want to say about that? We got 2 minutes.
I like what he says, because I think that, like I said, this city has the potential to be a really great city, and on many fronts, except the one front that it doesn't have a great possibility of being anything, is on the human issues, and I think he's touching on a lot of human issues, and he's not just touching on human issues, he's also touching on a bigger picture that I didn't even think about, an alignment with China. It's like, man, go for it. You know?
Right.
I'm talking about bring it all in here, you know what I'm saying? That's powerful. That was one thing that will be. It's like, yeah, your creative thinking is really what's needed. You know, and I think you're going to do well, and I hope you do well, because I think a lot of people in the city here in Worcester benefit from what you plan on bringing them to them and stuff. You know?
All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you, Todd, for coming on to the show and being part of the Voice of the Voiceless. Yep, you're going to do your shout-outs?
Give a shout out to my lovely bride Laura, and to my two scientist Mason Max, and Max has got his first play debut this Friday evening. I'll be there because it's in Rockland. He's in a play. He's the first year old person to be invited into play in this school, which starts to play characters start at the 3rd grade up. He's in the 1st grade. He's going to be the dog in that little blonde-headed girl story.
Alice in Wonderland?
No, the other blonde. He'll come to me.
All right.
He's the dog. I'm just worried about him. He's practicing his lines. He can really bark.
All right. Well, we at Voice of the Voiceless. Thank you guys all for tuning in and listening. You can catch us every Tuesday from 12 to 1 p.m. This is your boy Trooper Joe, who's always here to keep it real for you, and T. Williams.
Can we just give a shout out to Keith Laporte real quick?
Yeah, quick shout out to Keith, yes.
Yeah.
Haven't seen Keith in a little bit. Quick shout out to you, Keith. I hope everything's going good. And hope to see you being able to come back on the show for a guest or something
Oh, yeah, he can
at some
come
point
back.
soon. You're always welcome. The
Keith
show is
is
yours.
moving. If you want to keep in touch with Keith, he writes for Worcester Magazine every
Yep.
once in a while on their sports page and stuff.
He's on Worcester Daily News.
All right.
In the
Yep.
Daily News, he writes in the Daily News. Keith is doing quite amazing things out there.
All right, that's it. We'll see you later.
Here again to WCW 91.3 FM, community
I thought
radio
that went
serving
pretty
Central
good.
West.
We
I think you guys prepared me for doing 11 and,
Yeah, true. If you look at this, this is what,
As you listen
this is
in
what
this
they,
week, you're gonna
this is what
notice
they
a
wrote,
change in
like,
our afternoon
thanks
programming.
for
Our
being
Spanish
sure
program is now
democracy
with
starts
us
right
Tuesday,
at one.
Wednesday, and
So that's why I had to make
Thursday,
it start at
two,
one. I wasn't trying to cut anybody
You can
off.
also find Spanish
Alright.
programming on Sundays from 12
That's what he
until
should
2.
do. If he,
On Mondays, we're bringing you a
His
new
radio
program called
station.
Monday
Well, it's
Encore,
our
which
radio.
expects
Was it
to
Alan?
showcase
The guy that
presentations
was
of
No,
live
Todd.
performances
Todd,
presented
no,
Troy.
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 And on Fridays from 2 until 4
Sometimes we
p.m.
get
it's going to be the World Music